Hello, hello. Hello, how are you, Luna?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much for having me again for another mindset session. I'm really excited about today's topic.
Thank you for joining me and thank you for co-organizing this with me because you help a lot behind the scenes so as this to come up live here for all of us. So thank you for your help. So we are at the Ask Your Mentor Anything live series, as you might know, Fridays, 4 p.m. usually, and once per month we have those Mindset Session edition with Luna Jungblut. And today we have a great topic, again, suggested by you guys. So if you're here watching us, I see some of you are joining us live. Let us know in the comments that you're here live. And you don't need, if you don't want the name to be, announced, you can do that anonymously. Anyway, so we're glad to have you here live. I'm always very curious, where are you watching us from? So let us know the country or where you're based. And a few words about, yes, this initiative is actually a live series that I have actually was a result of a networking event. So we can disclose that later on about conferences. So it was an idea that came up during a very well-known international translation conference that Luna is going to be a speaker later this year. And that's a proof that actually those networking, hello to Poland, amazing. Hello, Dorota, is this you? And that's also a proof that by participating in such networking conferences, events for translators, you only get hello, kisses. Where are you watching us from? Ileana, is this you? I suppose. Amazing. Yes, hello, Dorota and Ileana. Thank you for joining us live. We would love to hear from you, okay, also about this topic today. So stay tuned with us. Yes, so this is the Ask Your Mentor Anything Live, the Mindset edition, as a result of my annual alumni group of graduates of my mentoring programs. Luna is also here as a community manager, and she helps and organizes these mindset sessions along with me again. Yes, hello, ladies. And shortly, for those that they might be wondering why we're discussing mindset session and if we're eligible to do so, for me, briefly, very shortly, to introduce a bit of my background. I'm a certified coach from the US, and I got my certification in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, or 2015, something like that. Right after my certification, I was invited by the Certified Greek Translators Association here in Greece to create the first voluntary mentoring program for translators. And I was the coordinator for, I don't know, 3 or 4 rounds of this program. So since 2016, I've been creating mentoring programs for translators. I also initiated the community mentoring for translators on Facebook as well. I recently, 2019 already, we have like how many years, got my MBA in client acquisition strategies for language professionals, and actually connected with the topic we're going to discuss today, because actually the most two well-known client acquisition strategies that translators use to get clients are referrals and word of mouth. So amazing that actually we're going to discuss this topic today. And of course, recently I was accepted to continue my studies at the PhD level. And again, I'm researching business performance factors. So I'm here to actually share with you my experience and the knowledge that I have gained through my studies and my work experience already, and also through the experience and knowledge I have gained by running such mentoring programs and actually teaching and helping other colleagues from all over the world to reach their potential through such mentoring programs since 2016. So I'm really happy to share with you any kind of my knowledge, experience, without, of course, anything that we're discussing here with Luna to be, as a taken for everyone. We always need, to evaluate the information and to adjust it based on our personal situation, okay, character, and so on. So, Luna, if you would like briefly to introduce yourself for those that they are watching us for the first time, and then we get right away into our topic.
Sure. So for those who don't know me, I'm an English into French translator specialized in art and culture. But I've also been a part of Virginia's programs for a while, and we decided also together to. Well, basically, I was one of the persons who suggested to have mindset sessions, because for me, I think that. And for I think a lot of us, what usually is the problem is the mindset and the confidence to to go and get those clients, to really show up. And the business side of things usually is fine. We usually are performant. We usually have degrees, and we are wonderful. Translators are really intelligent people. so
And very
um,
modest and very
yeah,
modest.
very modest. No, but
Yeah.
it's true. We are all very talented, and sometimes it's just the confidence side of things that is lacking. So that's why we created this. And today's topic is about how to network with colleagues. I've heard from some first timers in the profession, for example, when they go to conferences or when they just start in the profession, that they get a little maybe intimidated by the people with more experience, and they don't dare to actually go and talk to them or ask questions, things like that. For me, it was a game changer when I decided to attend a conference with translators, but also when I joined the community online of all the Facebook groups. It was truly game changer for me, and it really made my business so much better. I met a lot of you here that I now consider good friends. So that's why I thought it was a really good idea to share some good practices and motivate you to go and chat to people and be more relaxed about it.
You mean the fact that you started attending international conferences and events that actually boosted your career and your business? Is that correct?
Definitely, just getting in touch with the community, because as freelancers we can be quite isolated, and imposter syndromes, all of those things. And I think a lot of the confidence that we are lacking is because we're not in touch with our colleagues, such as we would be if we were in a team or things like that. We are usually working from home, so yeah, just making friends with people online was basically what made me more confident in my business.
Yeah, so definitely confidence could be a standalone topic, especially for mindset sessions. So we could have a whole mindset session only about confidence. Yes, it can be also a part of this topic that we're going to discuss today. There is actually one video on my YouTube channel when I initiated this series, not the live series, but series for starting out translators. There were a video about 10 ways to boost your confidence. And I always add that in my preparation exercise for my programs, because yes, I totally agree with you, Luna, that lack of confidence is one of the main reasons, colleagues, language professionals, translators, interpreters from all over the world, they really struggle to go after any kind of marketing strategies. So definitely, yes, confidence is one of, yes, internal topics of the actual topic we're going to discuss today. So we can't wait to see your questions or to share your ideas or any insights about the topic. Use the comments below this video, wherever you are watching us from. We're actually live right now on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook public page, Facebook, of course, intern and safe community, which is totally free. And we encourage you to become members if you wish to interact with other colleagues. We are more or less 2,000 almost members there. Would you like to start with the topic, Luna?
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to start by sharing some good practices for conference first timers. So we all know there are some main industry events. There are also industry events that are maybe more local to you. But I just wanted to share also my experience and some good practices on how to approach international large translation conferences. I don't know, Virginia, if you have anything else to say
Yeah,
about that.
I would say that I think it would be interesting to share our experience, okay, towards how we started the first conference and so on, so as other people to get some ideas. What do you think? So you can share your own
Sure. Yeah.
insights, and I can share also how I started. I have written also an article about how me attending international conference actually helped me and boosted my career and my business. I think I have published it initially on LinkedIn. You can find it there, and I'm actually referring to specific conferences that we're going
Yeah.
actually to refer right now as well. So I would be very curious to know. I know that your first international conference was BP in Vienna or not?
It was, and it was, I think, just 6 months before. I was just, a freelance translator working from home, and I had no idea. I was getting some work, but not really anything consistent. And I really decided to take my business more seriously, and this is how I came to come to the BP in Vienna. And I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anyone there. I was just really motivated to go, but no, I didn't know anyone. I was very detached from the community back then. I wasn't in touch with people from my BA or even my MA. For some reason, I took a few years after my studies to travel, and so I didn't really get into the industry at that time. So I didn't know anyone. So I decided that I would post on the Facebook group if anybody else was a first timer there. And then a few people answered, and we decided that we would meet ahead of the conference the day before, and we would have a friend of ours or someone in the group who actually was from Vienna, from Austria, and they took us on a little tour. So we organized a little tour like that with some other translators who were also first timers, and it felt really amazing because then going into the networking events, going into the conference, we had people to sit next to, we had people to chat to. And that made a huge difference rather than arriving at the conference and being really, oh my God, like I'm a beginner and all of these people are probably doing amazing and all of these things. So I think this was a really, really, really good thing to do for me. It really helped me, and I'm still friends with those people today, so that's great.
Wow, amazing. That's a great, also good practice that you've shared. And also it's very similar to mine. We have Ellen Singer here today, who is a pro in networking. So Ellen, hello, thank you for joining us live. I think we've discussed with Ellen Singer before this topic in a different maybe context. We have also had Anna Levok, who is responsible for the Translation Localization Conference in Poland, Warsaw. And I was a speaker there. We had also such a topic covered in a different aspect there as well. So ladies, if you would like anything to share in the chat, let us know, and I'm happy to share that with the public. My first international, if we can say, outside Athens conference, because I have had participated in such international conference here in Athens before I go abroad, was the same conference, VP conference in Zagreb, if I remember correct. And yes, I was writing down my notes before we go live to share some good practice myself. And I remember also I didn't go alone. So definitely a great way to start participating in such conferences, especially for the first time. It's a very good and clever idea to do this with another person. And actually, I'm going to mention how I met Ellen Singer, because I think that also comes to this topic. I remember that I met someone here at the IAPTI, International Association for Translators and Professional Translators and Interpreters here in Athens in 2014. And I met there a lady from Australia. She's not very active in social media, so I doubt she's going to watch us here. So we met there, and she introduced me this actual international conference BP, and that she was willing to attend there, and why not to share, accommodation or traveling, as she was coming from Australia, to Zagreb, and also I met her here in Athens. We had a tour here in Athens, Greece, and of course afterwards we took the flights and we met in Zagreb, and we shared accommodation there, which is also another clever idea, especially if at the beginning you find and you're struggling to actually find the budget to participate in such conferences. I remember that I had borrowed the money from a family member to attend my first international conference, and I was able to pay off this actually loan multiple times afterwards. So definitely it's worth it. Yes, you are going to learn a lot and to have many different gains, if we can say, from attending such conferences. So not only I met one person, we organized to share accommodation. We actually arrived together, so I wasn't alone. And the first person we meet at the conference, lounge before we get into the actual conference was Ellen Singer. So she introduced me to Ellen, that Ellen actually is very well known, was already very well known in the industry events. And it was very, after that, easy for me to get to know more people, to be introduced to other colleagues, to have company along the way. And I think that's the main purpose when you attend such conference and events, is to interact and to network with other people. So yes, the best practice is to actually to meet with people that they are attending beforehand, and to be able to meet there or to arrange to meet there for the first time. But as I see here in the comments, They say sharing accommodation is a good way to network. You get to know the other very well. Yes, but of course, sharing accommodation is also a bit risky if you do not know people. If you realize there are some common values, okay, with those people, and that the actual room or house that you rent is going to have separate rooms, separate. So you have your own space to study or whatever you would like to do to work, maybe in between the breaks. Then yes, I think it's a good idea to do so. Because we have heard some strange stories also for sharing accommodation. Make sure you know those people beforehand, or at least you have shared some other kind of events just to get to know with each other before you decide to share accommodation. So we set our first, I think, moment of participating in such international events, both of us. Also, the best, very good practice for those that they are starters, okay, to such events, not to go alone. So either you arrange with someone you already know to go to those events, or you can find online through the attendee list or other Facebook groups and communities, people that they are attending actually, and you can actually arrange a meeting before the actual starting point of such a conference.
Yeah, because I mean, most people will be as terrified as you are. So, the first timers, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Always there are other people that they are, yes, starters. So definitely, and even if they are not, in my case, they were not, it's even better for you, okay? Because you will be introduced to other people that they are well established or well known, and they will be able to introduce you to other people like Alencia did for me back then in 2015 in Zagreb. So great, Luna. Let's do the next one.
Yeah, you might as well, like Ellen Singer or some other people who are well known in the industry, recognize some names that you've seen on the online community of translators. So, in groups and things like that. And then this can be your in if, for example, they're speaking at the conference, but you've exchanged a few, comments online or something like that to be, hey, by the way, I am this person. It's nice to meet you in person and things like that. Have like an in to speak to people that you recognize. And I think what can also be said about our community is that we are really, I don't know, I find it really heartwarming, really helpful, really supportive, and really nice. So they're not going to bite, it's, I think it's also good to, go and say hello.
To be honest, yes, I have only good memories to share, but because we have some stories, and that's what was the reason we actually organized this topic, there are people that they did not share the same, opinion with us. So they might have had another experiences that they were not that positive. They didn't know how to make the most out of such conference. So if you relate with such stories that we have already here to share with you anonymously, so definitely, okay, this is why we create this topic, to actually give you some ideas of how you can actually, the next time you attend such conferences or events, to make the most out of it and have only positive stories to share.
Yeah, so also, following looking at the speakers list, trying to see what they will talk about, have I don't know, find something interesting to say about their topic, and then going and talk to them, having not just going in and being like, oh hi, I'm a newbie translator, please can you tell me how to get more clients. I think it's a good idea to actually start making friends first and having fun. Rather than
online, so you can even start networking before the actual event takes place, and you can do it even remotely. So if you're an introvert, if you do not know where to start, where you're there, why to wait, okay, to attend live the event, and why not start, introducing yourself or getting discussions with people that they are attending, or even their speakers. So yes, that's a clever idea that you mentioned, Luna. So if you're attending BB conference in Lisbon later this year, then definitely contact Luna. Luna is a speaker, okay? So you can get to know with each other there, and also Luna can help you if you are also started at this point attending live events. So amazing. And also, I will be a speaker at Elia Together. Yes, it's going to be online, but I would really love to know if you're attending my session. So let me know, okay, beforehand or afterwards, that you're attending my sessions, because the next best practice I would like to share here, and it's very it's related to what you already, it's relevant to what you already said, is actually to add people on social media, okay, even if you don't know them. The best way to do so for me is either beforehand, like Luna mentioned, okay, so you can contact them on LinkedIn, okay, on their website or wherever, okay, you can find their details and let them know that I found the details there, that you were the attendee or the speakers list of that event, and I'm attending that event, and I would really like to add you on LinkedIn, for example. So that's a clever idea. The other way do it is actually while you're there. That's what I usually do, especially here in Athens. So while I'm attending a presentation, I'm adding those people on LinkedIn. The best case scenario is actually they see that you're adding them, okay, and they find you through your face and the photo that you have on social media, and they will come and talk to you. So I've had such experiences, okay, and stories to share in the past.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a better way to contact the people beforehand rather than later, because everyone will follow up later. This is also, I mean, it's also a really good advice that I was supposed to say later on, that after with the connections that you've made, consolidate them and follow up afterwards. But I think, yeah, with some people that you really want to connect, or you feel like you have common values, like you were saying, or you really, the topic they're going to speak about really speaks to you, things like that, to contact them in advance, you will be, I don't know, like much less people contact people in
the best
advance.
way to do so is actually contacting them beforehand, before the actual event. I would really love to know if you're attending Elia together, even online. I know Ileana, you're going to meet, okay, this time online, but hopefully the next time we will be able to meet on site, Ileana.
Yeah, the BP is online as well, so it's in Lisbon, but it's also online, is hybrid.
Cool, but definitely if you can attend live an event, it's totally different. We can discuss later on, definitely. So yes, beforehand is a great way to start establishing some relationships with people that they are attending, okay, that event. So as you to be able to meet some people that you've already met online, so you don't feel alone. That's the best way. Another great way for me is also where while you are there live. So to share, I just saw, okay, or attended your presentation. I found that topic or that specific point that you mentioned, they're very clever, or whatever you would like as a follow-up, right? During the presentation, I've been doing that a lot. And also afterwards, which is the normal follow-up way, okay, adding social media so as to be able to stay in touch with people that you've met abroad or at such events, and you would like to establish a long-term relationship with those people, like we do here with Luna, Ellen Singer. That's how we've met. But also with Dorota and Ileana, we've met online. So I feel like I know them already. So if I meet Dorota or Ileana live at the conference, I will have the same feeling like I've met them, before. So definitely starting networking online is the best way, especially if you're an introvert. So great point, Luna.
Yeah, and even if you're either just starting out, even if you're still studying, people in they're not going to tell you like, why do you contact me, you're still a student. You're already in the profession, you already love what you do, I mean, hopefully, and you're already part of the community. I think it's very important to feel like you matter as much as anybody else, talking about mindset and confidence again, and yeah, don't be scared of reaching out.
Yeah, and the worst case scenario is not getting any answer, which is okay. If you are contacting like 200 people that they are attending, they're okay. You might get a no, or not no, but zero as an answer. That's okay. The best case scenario is that you will establish great relationship, friendship, even friendships with people, okay, that you are going to meet live later on at the actual event. So I've seen here some great ideas of how to get prepared and to feel more confident. So you would like to share those with us, Luna?
Sure. Yeah, I think also during the conference, we're sometimes a little bit scared about our appearance and things like that. So just a quick thing, make sure that you're wearing comfortable clothes. If you're not confident or comfortable in the clothes that you're wearing, it shows, so that maybe don't wear like high heels or things like that, or very, very tight, suit if this is not your usual way. I think it really helps if you're comfortable and in your element rather than, struggling with the clothes you wear. That would be a really sad way to, miss out on some really good relationships. I would also, if you feel very stressed beforehand, I would really recommend to do some power posing, for example, just like standing and like really taking space and having a little moment before you go into the conference hotel to center yourself, breathe deeply, some meditation, maybe if that's your thing. I think can definitely help the way you will express yourself and the confidence that you will have. So don't, go in there and feel stressed and go through it. If you feel stressed, take some time beforehand, before you talk to people, to really, really just calm your nerves. And I think taking this little buffer time to build up your confidence will definitely show as well.
Yeah, I saw your comment about boosting confidence, boosting meditations. If you have anything like resources to share later on in the chat, that would be also useful
Yeah,
to
sure.
find out such
Of course. Yeah, I
resources.
never know with meditation if people are going to be like, oh no, it's too woo-woo for me. So, but I mean, if you have any questions about that, I actually practice meditation myself. So don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, I've been recently, like since November, I've been practicing meditation every day with yoga as
Good.
well, practicing. So I've seen a lot of, huge change, especially when it comes to stress.
Mm-hmm.
So Dorota says, if you're
Anxiety,
attending
things
a live
like that.
conference, what do you normally wear? Is there any dress code? So, Dorota,
Depends.
yeah, people in our industry, they have very different styles. To be honest, they are not that formal in comparison
No.
to, yeah, other networking and conference events in other industries. I mean, Luna also networks in a writing circle. Yes, we know
That's true.
that, of course. Luna networks everywhere. And yes, we can share that as an experience later on. Amazing, Ellen. So, about the question of Dorota, yes, my 2 cents, 5 cents here would be, for example, like wear definitely clothes that you feel comfortable, okay, in. I like to wear formal clothing, but not that high heels. For example, I do wear high heels. I don't wear like very informal clothing, but I try to keep it, in between, like some semi-formal, if we can say. Uh,
Business casual.
yeah, something like that. I really like it, to be honest, and I feel more professional when I'm that
Yeah, me
outfit.
too.
But
Hmm.
what's your opinion, Luna, on that?
Yeah, me too. I am. I think. Yeah, it's definitely for me. Because also we don't get to wear, office clothes usually. Maybe it's because we don't like them, but sometimes I don't know. For me, it adds a little bit of a little professional vibe, and yeah, I like to have at least the business casual, or like not your jeans with holes in it, because I have a lot of those, and
For me,
sometimes I
the
can
most
dress.
important is actually to reflect your personality, because if you're going,
Hmm.
to do something else that you're
Yeah,
not,
it's true.
that's also something is going to affect your confidence. So Ellen says here, business casual, but some men wear a suit and tie, but others are more casual clothes that are a bit different,
It's
catch
true.
attention. Yes, that's clever, Ellen.
Hmm.
Ellen always cuts the attention, yes, with the colors and so on. So power posing, did you mention that?
Yes, yeah, power posing, for people who think that meditation is too out there for them, power posing really works. It's you can Google it.
Mhm.
Uh, it takes a few seconds, in the morning.
Yeah, it's a great advice for those that are speakers as well. So I remember I had a
Yeah,
mentor for my first public
voice
speaking.
exercises for speakers as well. I usually do them, not today,
So
but
voice
usually.
exercises, we mentioned power posing, meditation. There's also some practice for someone that's going to
Yeah,
be
this is all about your body actually, but the body really it really mirrors what's happening in your head. So it's important
I
not to
really want to
neglect it.
share this one more time because I remember my first presentation in front of 300 people here at the Chamber of Commerce. And I remember I was trembling. My finger, I had to click on the enter to change the slides, but my finger was trembling. What I'm trying to tell you is here that everyone congratulated me afterwards because I had a great presentation. And I was thinking while presenting that everyone has got it, that I'm stressed here, that I cannot even change the slides, but no one even noticed that. So it's something that I had to deal with. I felt it, but this doesn't mean that everyone will understand that afterwards, especially if you are able, somehow to cover it, at least for the time that you are there live and you are trying, uh, to pass your message through the audience. So thank you
Hmm.
for your advices, Dorota. Amazing, Dorota. We're here to answer any kind of questions. That's actually the actual meaning of those live sessions, and I really love to interact with you guys. So thank you for joining us live once again. So you say also here, remember, we're all beginners. Once you see, you still remember the first time that you attended such an event. I still remember, and yes, I will never forget, I assume. So definitely reach out to people. Okay, the worst case scenario is just no answer, but the best is actually to build long-term relationships here. Okay.
Hmm.
And talking about relationships, you think that's actually the main thing behind getting prepared for such an event is actually to make meaningful relationship here is
Exactly.
as a
Yes,
point.
because if we move the conversation forward as well, we know that like through our network, usually will word of mouth starts to work. referrals start to work, and connecting with colleagues also can really advance your business in terms of actual projects. Personally, I've had really amazing projects thanks to relationships with colleagues and things like that. So I think it's very important to remember when you meet those two colleagues to exchange your specialisms, if you have any, and your language pairs, and obviously your business cards. And you can offer them first, be like, oh, well, the next time there's a client that will ask me about automotive translation from, I don't know, Dutch to Russian or something like that, I'll definitely refer you, start by offering something of value to the person you're speaking to. And then they will definitely say like, oh, I'll do the same, I think it's very important to be super generous first. At least something, it was important to me anyway. I don't know if you agree.
The moment that I saw your point here about building meaningful relations, I remember also the way that I'm teaching the ultimate LinkedIn prospecting system, which is actually a process that we implement on LinkedIn to actually get to know and expand our network there, which is actually the basis of networking. And I remember always telling you guys that it's like going into a room, okay, it's a networking event, let's say, and you go and you just hand over your business card to someone you've never seen before. They've never heard of you before. You just get into the event and you just handing, your business card to people. That's a big no. Also for online networking, but of course for live networking. So by just selling your service or cold pitching online people on platforms like LinkedIn is the same like getting into a networking event and handing over your business cards without, getting into discussion with those people. And the main idea behind of, if we can say, efficient and successful networking is actually to build meaningful and real, relationships with those people. Either you meet them online with online conferencing events nowadays, or on platforms like LinkedIn, or even live at events that hopefully they're going to take place live later this year. Because of COVID, we've missed a lot of such opportunities. But definitely for me is to have in your mind before you attend such events, either online or offline, not to sell to people, not to promote your services, but instead of that, to have in your mind to build long-term relationships with people, meaningful relationships. That means actually that might end up to friendships. And how to do that? But instead of promoting your service and handing over your business card, why not to start meaningful and real conversations with those people about their interests, their hobbies, the conference itself, presentations that you've been attending at this conference, or even, as Luna mentioned, your specializations and your language pairs, which actually for me is the last thing you should start.
I mean, after, as soon as you have actually established contact, established rapport with this person, I think it's nice to do, the business side of this, but to offer first to refer them and things like that, I think is important.
Yeah. So first of all, break the ice. Start to talk to people about things that you might have in common, like the country you're visiting, the event itself, the presentations, or the country of origin where you're coming from, etc. I think people, they really appreciate, having discussions at such conferences. If you see someone that they're very introverted and they don't really like discussing with you, that's okay. You can continue the next one if you see that there is no, interaction with those people. But usually people, they really appreciate to get into discussion, to get to know you as well, vice versa. So definitely start discussions with the aim actually to get to know those people, to establish long-term relations rather than selling to those people your services, even if at the end, as Luna is going to share with us, you will end up with many projects, paid opportunities through those relationships that you actually build. So would you like to share some examples, Luna?
Exactly. Where I think it's also important, if you meet someone with the same specialism and the same language pair as you, this person is not a competition to you. For me, I was actually at some point in a situation where I had a really important client contacting me. I didn't have the time to take on the project. I found a translator who had the same pair, same specialism, and I referred the project to them. And since then, we've been collaborating on numerous projects. We cover each other when we are on holiday. We usually either I translate and she proofreads, or the other way around. We really have like a working relationship like that, and there's no competition between us. It's really not about that. it's just been really beneficial to me, definitely, to have this amazing colleague, and also because this way I can make sure that I refer my clients to her if I'm not available. So it actually benefits your clients as well.
Yeah, because of course the best way to find direct clients is to attend industry events rather than translation related events. But actually, also translation related events might end up to paid opportunities, like Luna already said. Not only because of the fact that other people, they might not be able to cover your language combination, so you will be the only, for example, Greek translator, or among a couple of others, for example, at one event. So the first time they hear an opportunity about the Greek project, you will be the first, they will think of. But also in the case that you might share the same language combination, you might have different specializations, so they might refer you to potential clients. Or even if you have the same specialization and the same language combination as Luna just said, you might be proofreading each other, or might be, sharing the same interpreting booth in the future. So you never know. For us, in the translation business and industry, I think it's a great opportunity to also attend such events, not only to network with other colleagues, because it actually ends up into paid collaborations, among colleagues, or through referrals.
Yeah, and the more you speak about openly about what you do, the more you have allies, in your team, so to say, to share industry facts with. The better you will, the more confident you will be, because you can talk about rates, openly with that person. You, with your colleagues that you meet, the contacts that you will make, you can talk, you can ask questions. Don't, I was so afraid at the beginning to talk about those taboo subjects. Sometimes I just go ahead and ask, and most of the time you will probably charge more than you were actually wanted to charge for this particular project, or you will gain a lot of information. And I think the more openly, this is why also these sessions are so great. It's like we have an open discussion about things, and this gives us a lot of power, I think.
Yeah, and also the least you can take away by participating in such an event, the least you can get by participating in such an event is actually the knowledge itself. So you're going to get to know and to learn many new things about the industry, the progress, tech-related topics, whatever, marketing. But for me, it was a great eye-opening opportunity about how much could I charge. And that was the starting point of actually doubling my rates back then. It was a result of me participating in such an industry event, but also to gain confidence, because you see other successful people, colleagues, that they did it, they've reached their goals. And it's also a great source of inspiration and motivation that you can also reach the same results or similar results because they did it. You can do it and actually learn the way they did it, so you can actually follow your dreams. For me, that's the best case scenario, and that's the best thing that you can get away from such a conference, along, of course, friendships and the people you are going to meet there and create long-term relationships. So for me, it's really important, in order to grow your business, to attend such events for the reasons that I shortly just mentioned. So is there anything else you would like to add here, Luna?
Just one more thing about conference etiquette, let's say. I think, seen a few people, going there and then feeling a bit down, or I've seen a lot of people complaining about clients, complaining about, sometimes some aspects of
during the
event, like sometimes in discussions or things like that. And I think this is a big no-no for me, like this is really not the place to, it's nice to, feel like we are all in the same boat, let's say, but it's really not the place to be negative or things like that. So I would just say, leave your negativity at the door. and yeah, just like be curious, be positive, and focus on making friends and having fun.
Yeah, and for me, it's also great advice, the last one that you just mentioned, Luna, also for online networking. So also LinkedIn is not a platform for complaints, because I've seen a lot of people using such platforms, There are small and private groups where you can interact with other colleagues, expressing your complaints and stories about our industry, but not publicly, on a platform where your ideal clients might be hanging out there, and they will be able, to see such comments. And of course, definitely participating in such an event is the best way to meet new people, and having the right, if we can say, not only mindset but also attitude, like being positive, as Luna just mentioned, is the best way to get the best results, as well as we just mentioned. And of course, because I mentioned the business cards previously, of course you need to have business cards. And if you have any creative printed material like brochure, company profile, or portfolio, yes, have them with you. Okay, yes, it's a professional event, and yes, you will end up with paid projects there, but you don't need to start the networking process by having the end, okay, as a sale, to make a sale in your mind. Instead, try to build meaningful relationships, okay, with people that you meet there, and that hopefully will end up, okay, into paid projects. Actually, conferences like Elia Together, they have a specific session where LSPs and clients, they meet potential other vendors and colleagues. So also some conferences, they offer that networking opportunity where you can directly, sell and yourselves and promote yourselves and yourself. So yes, amazing. So I think we've covered that. The last thing I would like, before we continue with some questions here, is that we need to get out of our comfort zone, because usually the reasons I hear about not attending such events is, for example, I don't have the budget, it's very expensive for me to attend such a conference or event, or even to travel and accommodate abroad. But I have shared accommodation with a Lensinger, with other two people, for example, or an Airbnb place. So there are ways that you can cover, okay, or shorten the expenses. But also, I'm also publicly said that I borrowed money to attend my first, okay, conference, which was back then, I don't know, 300 or 400 euros, something like that, the actual cost of the event. So if you really want to do this, if you realize the value and the results that you are going to gain by participating in such an event, you will find a way, okay, to cover the expenses and to be able to attend this event. And the other reason I hear a lot is actually, for example, I don't feel confident, I'm not that into marketing, I don't really like selling myself. But yes, there are ways that you can do that in an indirect, okay, way, without you exposing yourself. But definitely, in order to reach some kind of growth, personally or professionally, for me, you need to get out of your comfort zone. That was a discussion I had yesterday in my fully booked translator formula session we had, about sending those emails. You need to send those emails, okay? You need to follow up with those people. You need to add them on LinkedIn. You need to contact them and to talk to them live when you attend such events. And yes, that's a bit stressful. You might not feel confident enough, but getting out of our comfort zone is the only way to see any kind of growth, okay? Even the minimum one, in our personal and professional life. There is no growth if you do not do something differently. So if you keep doing the same things and they don't bring you the results that you would like, okay, to have in your business and your personal life, then most probably you need to change something. And by change something, it means that you need to do something differently, something most probably that gets you out of your comfort zone. And attending such events, especially live nowadays, is such a way to achieve growth and to do something good for your business and your personal life. And it's totally worth it, in my opinion. So
and you mentioned as well how to recover costs as well for these conferences, because of course they do pay off. But sometimes you don't see the results right away, but it's okay. It's a long-term thing, okay? Like your relationships that you're making, the follow-up you will make with those relationships makes sure that you stay top of mind to those people. And then it's really down the line, and it can be years and years and years, maybe 10 years down the line, that this person is going to be like, oh, I have the right project for you. So sometimes I used to be personally a little bit frustrated when I didn't see, you would invest a lot of money for these, and then 2 months later you're like, it didn't work, I have nothing to show for it. But actually I can assure you that it does pay down the line. You just need to endure and wait, and but it definitely does pay off. But the best reward anyway is the relationships that you're making and the friendships that you're making. Anyway, I really love our community, so I'm really
and we grow together, and this is something that has tangible results. It's not only about having fun, which is totally fine. It's not about being confident or positive. It's about getting tangible results. And I think that people, if they didn't get such results, they wouldn't go to such events only for fun. So definitely there is some
it is fun though. It is fun.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's best. Yes, you can do, but definitely it really, really, really pays off in multiple ways, like the ones I have already mentioned. So Ileana says here, great things never come from your comfort zone. Exactly, Ileana, and thank you for being in my community, and thank you for joining us here live today. So ladies, let me know in the chat if there is anything else you would like us to cover here. Luna, your last comments?
Yeah, I just had a question. I think it's just I don't know, just a question as well to ask the floor, to ask the people in the audience, whether you think that maybe an interpreters conference and a translators conference would be different. You know, is there if there are any differences between the community of interpreters and translators? And because I'm in both, you know, I can start with some comments. I think that usually in translators conferences, it's true that I think the amount of interpreters is actually quite low. And I tend to see maybe the interpreters crowd as being like slightly more select and sometimes a little bit harder to crack. I've had that in my personal experience that sometimes, I don't know, it's a different vibe. So I was wondering whether other people.
So is it really there is a different vibe? Because I've never attended only, you know, an event about for interpreters. I've been in a mix, okay, for translators and interpreters events, but never only for interpreters. I realize, yes, some kind of interpreters, they might, you know, is a bit of, I don't know, snob, or they prefer yet to just hang around each other whenever, only when they know each other.
Yeah. Well, I took part in Interpreters Summit at the beginning of the year this year, and it was amazing. But it was the first interpreters only event I attended, and
it was online though. It was not.
It was online. It was not live. Yes, so I've never actually been there.
Yeah, it's
but just as a part of the interpreting community for a while, I find that they're maybe sometimes a little bit more discreet, maybe online or something like that. But it's just a question that I wanted to open to the floor, because I know less, I guess.
Yeah, we have here experienced audience. Ileana is also an interpreter. Ellen Singer is very active in the community. Dorota and anyone, there are many people that are watching us right now. Let us know in the chat. Do you think there is a difference when it comes to networking to events that are only for translators and in comparison to those that they are only for interpreters? Do you find any differences when it comes to networking? Do you have any other practices you would like to share? Let us know in the comments. And in the meantime, we can answer a few more questions, like how would you recommend introducing yourself to a group of people who seem like they know each other? That's a great question we got.
Yeah.
So the best way to start getting into discussions is when you see someone that they are alone. So if you see someone alone and you're alone there, go to talk to them. That's easier for you instead of getting into a discussion with people that they already know each other. So start with someone or two people that they're standing there alone. That's what I did. That's how I met the first person that I told you from Australia, that she introduced me VP, and later on Ellen Senior. She was standing there alone. I went there and talked to her. So the best way is to do so. Exchange your personal and professional details, business cards afterwards, okay? Having great discussion, attending some presentations together, hang out for a coffee during the breaks, and then, of course, arrange your next conferences and events you're going to attend. So you might end up with some opportunities of going there with a company.
Yes, I wouldn't recommend, if a group is sitting at a table and they look like they really know each other and they're really deep in a discussion, I wouldn't recommend... going to sit next to them and starting with handing them a business card. I don't think that would work very well.
So Ellen says she's never go to interpreters events. Why, Ellen? Is it for a reason? It has never happened. Do you have any experience from other people to share with us? How's networking to interpreters events? Ileana says that she learned that from me about getting out of your comfort zone. So Ileana, I would really love to know one thing that I made you actually to implement it was out of your comfort zone. So Ellen says, group, listen first, then contribute if and when you have something to say. That's very clever, Ellen. Thank you. Someone alone, they will appreciate your company, definitely, and that's easier to start with.
Exactly.
Dorota says, I attended one interpreting conference, but there was no networking session. So I can't say there is a difference. Yes, but apart from a networking session, Dorota, what we mean here by networking, we mean any kind of practice to get in touch with any other of attendees here or speakers.
Going into a group of interpreters and a group of translators, I just wonder if there would be a difference.
Yeah, so Dorota, if you can share how was the networking.
I think there might also be less interpreters and translators in the world.
Usually,
so
yeah.
that could also be the reason why we see
so
them.
Let us know also. Yeah, let us know in the chat also which conferences have you been to, and if you're going to any this year. So before you attend a conference, because I've seen some bad stories or experience shared with me through you guys, start with those that they have a great networking aspect. You can learn from other colleagues, like what events they have been attending and they had a great fun, as Luna mentioned, because not all of the conferences are fun. And definitely if you're starting out, attending such conference, start from those that are smaller, because it's even harder for me, to have that much fun, for example, to huge events, especially when you don't have any kind of experience like ATA, which is huge event, and then you need to be even more prepared beforehand so as to get yourself there and to find people and to meet them again and again. So when it's a smaller event here in the European market, it's easier for you to interact with each other, to meet with each other again and again, and maybe to have fun. So which conference have you been to, and are you going to any this year?
Yes,
so
let us know.
Apart from BP conference that you're a speaker in May, is there any other conference that you're attending?
Myself? There is an interpreting summit next week online that I'm going to attend. There's also but it's a digital nomad conference happening on Thursday morning, which I'm attending as well. So there has been a lot of online events at the moment. So I'm trying to be a little bit all over the place. Otherwise, nothing this year, but I'm planning on attending another industry event, either in the museum industry or in the technology, VR, art industry as well. So I'm.
You were an exhibitor already. You were an exhibitor at such an event.
Yes, I was an exhibitor at this attractions and theme park exhibition, which was really fun.
Yeah,
actually, on BP, this is what I'll talk about. So.
Yeah, exactly. So also as a result of becoming an exhibitor on your own, starting discussion in our mentoring for translator group about this topic, you actually came up with the idea of participating in a conference with the same topic. So you see how one opportunity brings to the other, and it's connected with you.
And back then, in 2017 when I attended the first BP in Vienna, I would have never imagined to be a speaker one day. But somehow the emulation with the community and the connections that I've made and people that I've seen and that have helped me so much with their talks at such conferences really gave me the motivation to actually do that myself. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's also tangible results. So becoming from attending just one event, creating relationships, to getting out of your comfort zone, becoming an exhibitor yourself, and even a public speaker, that's amazing as a progress. And I'm really amazed also from your results, Luna. And the last thing I would really like to mention here, sometimes we get out of our comfort zone with one specific goal in our mind, but that goal might never be achieved. But in the meantime, you might have achieved so many other things, even exceed your financial goals. And you have had such great stories to share with us that they have been happening to you lately. And I think that's a result of your mindset change and you being active in such mentoring programs and inner circles that you mentioned already, the writing circle. So I think that we attract, the vibes that we want by just being active, in the community in general, even if the actual action we're taking is not right away directly connected with the results that we get. That's at least my approach, and I've seen that happening to myself, and also to my community and people I work with. So I don't know if there is anything else you would like to share with your successes so far.
Personally?
Yeah, personally, why not? People, you are a role model right now. You are just describing your story, your own story, by starting out attending such conferences, actually being an exhibitor this year to a very big direct clients event, and right now you're invited as a speaker to one of the biggest conferences, here in the translation industry.
This is definitely a great success, and I'm really grateful for these opportunities. Definitely.
So you don't have anything else to share. So Eliana says, get in touch and nurture the business relationship also online. Normally, I did it personally. So that's how Eliana, she got help to actually get out of her comfort zone in order to get in touch and nurture the business relationship also online. And she was able to reach 5-figure months. So Eliana, congratulations. Dorota says the conference was online regarding the connecting with interpreters on LinkedIn, for example. I don't see a difference. Yes, we could discuss that, okay, more, Dorota, why you didn't see any difference. Do you network with them? Do you nurture the relationship with them online? Because it's not only adding people, you know, on social media after the event, it's actually how you build that relationship. And it's two direction, you know, two ways relationship. You need to give in order to take, you know. You need to listen and then speak. So there are different ways that you can nurture that relationship, and that's also should be your goal, Dorota, apart from adding them on LinkedIn. I suppose that's Dorota says, I will attend innovation in interpreting summer because there are some sessions also useful for translators, and maybe I will attend BP and KTLC. Amazing, Dorota. To be honest, I don't have plans for live events. At the moment, I'm speaking at Elia together. I recently also presented at an academic event the results of my MBA thesis. Ileana says, I will attend the Freelance Business Month Amazing in October. Let us know how this will go, Ileana. I'm really curious about it. So I'm focusing a lot on the academic side and events that I'm invited, to be honest, this year. And I don't plan right now, at least because of COVID, any live events. That, although I would really love to attend live events, I'm just holding my horse right now. How the COVID will develop.
I think you're busy enough.
Yeah. So that was it up to now. Just to conclude, okay, stay authentic, as you say here, fun and positive, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable or to get out of your comfort zone. As we discussed, that's a great way to start getting out of your comfort zone, by attending such events. And for me, the last thing is actually, as a result of my MBA thesis, the most common answer to the survey that I ran about which is the most efficient, okay, client acquisition strategy that you've been implementing as a freelance translator and interpreter. Do you know, Luna, what was the answer?
Word of mouth.
It was word of mouth and referrals. So guys, if you want to get clients, if you want to be positioned as the expert yourself, if you would like in the future to become a public speaker, and why not? If you would like to become well known in the community, okay, of our colleagues, then definitely a starting point is actually to network with those people and attend such events. Ellen Singer
and don't be scared to be authentic and show your real personality.
Exactly. So
Ellen, for everyone.
Yeah, for everyone. I have attending interpreting and translation conferences, and if I can listen to interpreting presentations, knowing a little about other tasks within our industry is useful. Sometimes clients need an interpreter or a subtitler, and they already trust you, and you can select a serial professional. Yes, definitely. And I see your point. Do you see any differences in the networking process between those two different events? So Dorota says that's true. I don't have such relation with them much. Often I build a relationship with translators. That is also why I attend interpreting conferences sometimes. Yes, amazing, ladies. Such a great chat and discussion is getting on in the Mentoring for Translators community on Facebook, private, totally for free, will remain for free forever. Join us there if you want to continue the discussion and to get to network with people online. I do not go to networking courses. I have presented on network. Yeah, I'm not talking about going to networking courses. I'm asking you your opinion on what are the differences, Ellen, between the actual networking that is happening in a translator's event and in interpreters' events. If you see any difference in the actual networking process that is going on at those events. I'm not asking you if you have.
In my experience, I found interpreters sometimes to be a bit more standoffish, kind of weary. But I could be completely mistaken, and of course I have amazing colleagues and friends in the interpreting community as well. But it's something that I did notice.
Yeah, and also this actually live that you're watching here, the Ask Your Mentor Anything, with more than 100 videos online on my YouTube channel. You can find the library in the Mentoring for Translators. You can find all the videos there gathered. Was a result of the BP conference I attended last time in Bologna, was before COVID, where actually there was a need, okay, for such a community, and I came up with this idea. So definitely do not underestimate the value that you can gain out of such events, apart from the community that you build, the long-term relationships, the friendships, the friends that you make there. Okay. And why not the paid projects and gigs that you might end up as a result of you attending such events. So thank you all of you for being live here with us. Thank you, Ellen, Dorota, Eliane, and all of you that you are watching us here and you didn't introduce in the chat. I would really love to know that you're here live with us. So let me know that you are just attending the live. And you can also watch the recording if you missed the actual live in the Mentoring for Translators community. And of course, on my YouTube channel, where we have all the library with all the previous recordings of the Ask Your Mentor Anything live. We had also one live with Anna Levok from Translation and Localization Conference in Warsaw, where we discussed the differences between online and on-site live events. So if you would like to find out more what are the differences and how to practice differently the networking, okay, between those two different types of events, then I would definitely suggest you to go back and visit that recording with Anna, where we are sharing very good and practical advice on how to practice networking differently in such events. Thank you all. It was a great session, they say here.
You.
Thank you, Dorota. Thank you, all of you ladies.
Thank you, everyone. See you
next
soon.
month with another different topic about the mindset sessions. And I have already prepared 2 different Ask Your Mentor Anything live about transcreation and personal branding with 2 different guests. So stay tuned. We're going to announce everything in our Facebook community. So bye-bye for now. Have a great weekend all.
Bye.